Good morning. Thanks for joining us for the News 12 FastCast. I'm Nick Proto. It's 11:50 on our Monday, July 8th. We start off in Augusta this morning where officials found a body behind a house. Take you to the scene here earlier this morning. Officials say it happened sometime before 10 o'clock. The coroner ruled it a suspicious death. And again, this is on Abelia Drive between Windsor Spring Road and Lumpkin Road. Details very limited right now, but we'll get you more information as soon as we get it. The sheriff's office is looking for a murder suspect in connection to the shooting on Warren Street back on the 2nd. They say Joshua Wadley has several warrants on file. He is considered armed and dangerous. Deputies believe he's known to be in the Harrisburg neighborhood. This was the scene 6 days ago on Warren Street. The coroner saying 38-year-old Sion Ulmer was found shot outside a home and died at the scene. If you've seen Wadley, call the sheriff's office. Richmond County investigators are currently looking for this man on your screen. They say 18-year-old Kieran Walters is wanted in connection to the shooting that killed 16-year-old Sadiq Brown Friday night. Deputies say Walters is known to hang around the Harrisburg neighborhood, and investigators consider him armed and dangerous. So if you know where he is, call the sheriff's office. 2 shootings in just a few months at the Augusta Mall have left people with questions about the mall's safety. The latest shooting happening July 4th, just after 3:30 p.m. One person was shot but is expected to be okay. Our Sydney Hood is looking for answers on where the mall goes from here.
Mall security is top of mind for many after a 4th of July shopping day turned into people running for their lives. We're still trying to figure out if there are any suspects, if there were multiple victims, where exactly this happened at. On the mall, we've reached out to the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. We've reached back out to the mall to discuss steps moving forward. We've even reached out to city leaders to hear from them about what's next for the Augusta Mall. So be sure and check out this story all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Okay, thanks, Sydney. Columbia County District Attorney Bobby Christine is asking for the public's help to keep a convicted rapist in prison. The Georgia Board of Pardons and Paroles voted to give Willie Johnson tentative clemency. In 1986, Johnson was convicted on charges of rape, robbery, and more and sentenced to 5 consecutive life sentences. Now, Christine is hoping he serves that full time. Our Kennedy Payne sat down with Bobby Christine this morning.
On July 5th, Bobby Christine, the district attorney of Columbia County, sent out a letter to citizens urging them to protect truth in sentencing. This all came after the Georgia Board of Pardons and Paroles granted a tentative clemency to release William L. Johnson. In 1986, Johnson dressed as an Army soldier and beat and raped 3 women. Christine says this is the most horrific case he has ever seen, and he's urging the community to reach out to the parole board to keep him behind bars. We'll have more on this on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Okay, thanks, Kennedy. In Aiken, one person is dead after a house fire on John Nunn Highway in Sally Friday night. When officials got to the home, they found a man dead inside. We're still waiting for the victim's ID and the cause of that fire, but we'll update you once we learn more. One person's recovering after a shooting in Edgefield County. The sheriff's office says it happened Friday night on May Street. We're working to learn more about any suspects and the extent of that person's injuries. Richmond County investigators need your help finding a missing 31-year-old. Tony Robinson was last seen Wednesday on Green Street. He's known to hang out near the Salvation Army Center of Hope. Investigators say he suffers from paranoia and schizophrenia. If you see him or know where he is, call the sheriff's office. In McDuffie County, deputies are looking for 16-year-old Isaac Vinson. Officials say he was last seen on Colberth Road on the 4th of July. He was last seen wearing blue jeans, a black T-shirt, and black Nike shoes. If you have any information, call the number right there on your screen. A man facing several charges after Richmond County deputies say he threw an explosive device into a downtown crowd, then took off on the run. Investigators identified the suspect as 25-year-old Devon Reed from Burke County. They say Friday morning around 1, deputies were patrolling Broad and 10th Streets. They say they saw Reed throwing an explosive device into a crowd of people. He's now charged with possession of an explosive device to kill or injure and obstruction. Peach Jam starts on Friday, and with players and families coming to North Augusta, our local stars have the chance to take their games to the next level. Alyssa Lyons talks with West Side's Jerry Hunter on how his players benefits from events like Peach Jam.
Later on this week, so many eyes will be all over the CSRA as Peach Jam comes to town over at Riverview Park. And while there's so many great basketball players and young talent making their way to the CSRA, there's still some pretty good players right down the street at Westside High School that will be making their debut over at Peach Jam. Find out all new on News 12 at 6 o'clock what this means for our local talent.
Okay, thanks, Alyssa. After 16 families lost their homes in an Augusta apartment fire, Red Cross is providing assistance to those families. Neighbors say they feel hopeless after this devastating fire. Now, Jada Walker is speaking with the Red Cross on how they'll continue to help these families.
It's been 5 days since 16 families' homes went up into flames, causing residents at apartment 926 to lose everything. The community and the Red Cross quickly gathered around these families to help them in this time of need. Later today, you'll hear from Susan Everett, the director of the Red Cross in Augusta, who talks about what these families need in order to continue and how the Red Cross has supported them through this tragedy.
All right, thanks, Jada. Some great news out of Aiken. We now know when the new Lowe's Foods will be open for business. There's a ribbon cutting for the grocery store July 25th. That'll be at the intersection of Whiskey Road and Powder House Road Southeast. Lowe's Foods has more than 80 locations in the Carolinas. They'll have a bakery, coffee, beer den, and more. That's going to do it for our News 12 FastCast this morning. News 12 at midday starts in less than 4 minutes. Until then, here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Thanks for watching.